what we generally do in here is we'll have a quick kind of interview. I'll moderate it. That'll kind of provoke thoughts for people, and then we'll open it up and have a community chat. Feel free to break out into groups at any time. You don't have to sit here and listen to me. Check out the other worlds. Whatever you want to do. You guys participated over the last week in the SideQuest Fitness Week. And from a business perspective, this was a really unique thing in VR.
Initially, it was just something we talked about, I think, late last year. And it was something that we thought it would be really good to try and do something unique where a number of applications would all try and come together. But we hadn't really thought about the format and how we would link these applications, given that a lot of them, even though fitness is the main thing, each of them are unique in their own right, which is great because I think when people target fitness, they want to do different aspects of fitness. So I think it was good that we'd got a bunch of us that we'd all got different apps, all at different stages of development, all doing unique things, but we want to try and bring together some form of either scoring system or some sort of online system where everybody who would perform in these games could, I guess, could get together and the community could kind of share. So I guess we brainstormed a number of ideas and obviously talked to the guys at SideQuest saying, well, given all our apps are on the SideQuest store, wouldn't it be good if we could actually host something on there? And I think Shane and the developers then set about creating an SDK for us so that we could at least try and pull together some form of awards and badges and things like that. And I think that was the start of trying to get all these apps together. And I think it worked really well in that sense. It was very frantic. I think a lot of the apps, given trying to get something together in such a short space of time, embedding the code in our games, doing releasing, testing, etc., was all very, very frantic and took a lot of time and effort from all of us. And I guess we all shared a lot of some of the pains and the troubleshooting in terms of doing it. But we did it, and it was great to see what we achieved in such a short space of time. I guess we've not yet seen the stats in terms of how many people managed to do the registration through SideQuest, because that was something new. Doing the linking with the apps, that was something new.
So Shane is founder and CEO of SideQuest. He just walked in the back. Shane, we're just getting started here. You want to come up and tell us how you felt like SideQuest, week went from your perspective and what you were trying to get out of it?
Yeah, wow. You put me on the spot, I think, a little bit. This week was a lot of different things for us. We were working on a lot of different things at the same time, and I was unfortunately more engaged with that other stuff than with the fitness week as much as I would have liked to. Thankfully,
sure.
Orla here was pretty strict with her regiment of getting in her fitness requirement every single day and trying out each and every single fitness app, a lot more than I managed to get to do in the end. So she could probably tell you a little bit more about what she managed to get out of it. For me, I wish I was able to get a little bit more involved, but I look forward to sort of continuing the fitness community that we've created, which I think is great. Yeah, I really changed up the communities, the way it works on SideQuest. So now the fitness is on the homepage. Hopefully that'll drive a couple more people in. We can sort of really get this going.
I'll start by saying I'm not a fitness person. So I felt like I was probably a good target audience for this stuff. And I do really think that there's like this huge, like kind of really untapped like market for fitness in VR. I mean, when I say untapped, everyone is using it for fitness, like when you think about like the stuff that's on the store and stuff, but some of the apps are doing like really unique things, and I thought that was a really positive thing to try. I guess like with hand tracking, and then there were some apps that had like you were actually down on the floor basically doing like crunches and stuff. Like it was really intriguing to see how you could still do that in VR.
It was impressive how quickly you guys got that turned around. I mean, it went from being an idea to being live and people using it, within a month or so. It was really cool to see that. One of the things...
Yeah, I mean, sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, one of the things I'm curious to ask you about is... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, I think we literally started talking about it the week before Christmas, and I was thinking, how on earth do we put this together with Christmas week and then everybody gets into their fitness mode in January, but like it worked out in the end. So if you
Sure.
want it enough, you can make it happen.
I thought this idea of an event that happens in more than one app at the same time was really interesting. Is that something you may try with other kind of topical groups on SideQuest?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a real good trial run for us to see how that type of integration might work, and I definitely think there's a lot of other categories there that could probably leverage what we created for their games, and we've had a few kind of inbound requests from developers who've seen how it worked for Fitness Week to say like, could we look at this like in-game reward type thing, for a first-person shooter or for something that has like a points-based system.
Sure.
So yeah, we're pretty excited to see where it could possibly go, and we would like to keep working on it and exploring that for sure.
Michael and Jason's perspective, did you guys see a bump in your traffic?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, VR Workout got staff picked at the beginning of January, so there was already quite an increase. But with the Fitness Week, I will put out a tweet probably tomorrow because I kind of like putting out data, and it really shows how the Fitness Week turned out. And especially the day when the game was because we had each game had a certain day when it was featured, and it was like you have to do it. You don't have to do it exactly like us, but it would be good if you do it on this day or that day. And you can really see that spike when the game was on the spot, and it really shot up. So I think the whole Fitness Week got me around 1,500 downloads. So that's pretty impressive. People who are using fitness, they are interested and they won't play a single game for like a month. So they want to have some mixing up of things, and that's a great way to point them to other games. And I think that during the Fitness Week, it's also we try to do all those shout outs for the other games so that all our followers actually figure out what other games are there. And I think that created a great community, and people really found a way to discover other apps that really fit their interest. And yeah, I think that would definitely be something we would do it again.
That's awesome. That's definitely something we've noticed trying to build this community too, is like as competitive as another group may seem, you're almost always better off, working closer together because VR is such a small thing and we all need to support each other. I saw you got you got that press from Fox. Did that have anything to do with Fitness Week or was that independent?
I can't really tell. I mean, it was coincidental that it was during Fitness Week. I think it had something to, I mean, they actually mentioned SideQuest, so that was really surprising to me. I haven't had no contact with them, so I didn't know where they get it from. But I think it had something to do with VR Fitness Insider review they did in that week. Also from the Fitness Week. So the Fitness Week caused them to do the review, and the review caused then Fox News to pick it up because a lot of things they said during that Fox News article was actually from the VR Fitness Insider review. So it was kind of transient, but yeah, had something to do with Fitness Week.
It's crazy.
That's crazy. when I saw that you were on Fox News, Michael, that just made me roll on the floor laughing. I thought what you did with the rest day, including you did a mindfulness app, right, on the rest day?
Yeah, we did some meditation apps because a lot of being able to actually keep up a fitness routine is a lot about like a positive attitude and mental health's like so important, especially like I don't know how everyone else is doing in the world at the minute, but we're in a lockdown here and stuff in Belfast, so there's like literally no human contact. So I think having those days where you could just kind of look inward, but it's still exercise. You're exercising your brain. I thought that was really important.
Super.
You guys want to check out the new SideQuest world real quick?
Yeah,
I do.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not quite finished and the connectivity isn't hooked up, but I figure we're all here. We might as well look at it.
There was
So
some
Shane,
kind of weird
basically
Snapchat
what I'm
effect.
thinking here is this can be kind of the backbone, and then the further build out can be kind of more tied to, whatever the theme that week is or whoever's being featured.
Yeah. This is
feel free
cool.
to feel free to share thoughts at any time or later on or whenever. I think what we'll do on this one is we'll have the limit at 30, and then we'll set up the sharding system so that when the 31st person comes, it starts a new room essentially.
We can just feature it on the homepage as SideQuest, right?
For sure. Well, I don't know if you've read any Twitter inbox I sent you recently. I just sent you a message this morning, but essentially we're getting real close to actually being able to launch our native app.
Really?
And so, yeah. So this experience will be totally a subset of what we're doing in native.
So standalone, no alt space.
Yeah, we started getting further and further. I mean, I'm sure you've seen wonkiness and the badges and stuff, and it's just really difficult to handle all the different SDK versions and a lot of the stuff I'm sure you anticipated. So we just figured, if we're gonna have to do this work, we might as well just do it right in our own code so that it lasts.
Yeah. I pretty much prototyped a platform that replicated maybe 95% of the functionality of this platform a couple of years ago, called The Expanse, or renamed to SideQuest Legends. So if you need any hints or tips there, I can certainly point you in a bunch of directions.
Yeah, I'm sure we need all we can get. It's a fraught endeavor for sure. One of the good things
it's a tall order to cater. It seems very simple to be in this environment, but there's a lot of different things to factor in.
Yep.
But it's cool to hear that you're doing that.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff that AltSpace offers, we don't need at all. Like, we don't need a menu, we don't need an events directory, we don't need any of this stuff. Like, you're just going to land, in the experience right on load, and then all of our account management and everything can be on the web. So we save ourselves a good bit of work through that approach.
Yeah, no, I get it. We've been playing with a Minecraft server recently. And we've been considering using it for stuff as well, just because we've been able to implant a browser system into it where you can pretty much display whatever you want, videos, Google Slides. It's quite simple in that sense.
Cool, congratulations. Is it just you working on it, or have you got a team?
Solo dev. My partner sort of helps out as and when she can between her studying. But yeah, so kind of spending most of my time at the moment really on the back end side of things, trying to add support for stats and achievements, kind of related to what was needed for SideQuest, but I wasn't able to actually integrate my own native support for achievements in time. So I kind of just did a bit more of a hacky integration for the SideQuest Fitness Week. But I'm trying to just continue with that back end work at the moment, which is kind of distracting me from being able to work on the feature work that's visible to users. So it's been like months now where I haven't really been able to focus on visually, new visual features. It's one, when you're one dev, it's hard to juggle these different things as well as marketing and it's a good challenge though, but you have to split your focus quite a lot.
It's kind of frustrating when you've spent weeks working on a feature, but the end users see nothing different. It just feels like it's the same app to them, and you can't show them the back end.
Yeah, and like classic dev sort of thing to underestimate how long it's going to take you to work on some back end feature.
What is the Virtual Athletics League? I've not come across that before.
I haven't followed them super duper closely. I know that they did this fitness summit back in like November. It was like September last year.
October,
yeah, and that was lots of mini kind of challenges and tournaments that were generally organized, I think, on their Discord, but you had the likes of FitXR and O-Shape running little competitions with prize pools to kind of incentivize users to get involved. But the Virtual Athletics Leagues generally tries to run tournaments for any VR content that lends itself to kind of esports style tournaments. I mean, Ryan, who's the CEO of the Virtual Athletics League, I think he's just really keen to be able to find a way for VR to have an esports kind of scene and have that be something that he can foster. And he's trying to figure out how to make that be viable in an ecosystem that can't really support advertising as the basis for funding that kind of stuff. But he's the one that's kind of pushing that forward, and I guess it was a new thing to experiment with that fitness summit last year, and hopefully they've learned a few things from running that, and if they run a new winter games, then they can build on what they learned.
What do you think would be the most impactful hardware change for VR headsets to adapt that would add to the fitness scene? Because there are numerous things you could add. Foot trackers of some kind. A guy here earlier today was saying we need gloves instead of controllers. Is there anything that you as fitness developers are particularly looking forward to in terms of, if we only had this one extra thing, so many more options would be available?
Personally, I think probably just if it was the ergonomics, if they were just way lighter and more comfortable, that would make a massive difference on its own. I'm not someone that really gets that fussy about having really fancy technology that needs to be able to track every detail. I think one of the lessons that I hopefully learned from my previous startup trying to do fancy full body tracking and spending way too much time on tech instead of trying to make a product, kind of figure now you can work with what you have, and you can do quite a lot with like imperfect tracking. The tracking tech that we have with VR controllers and 6DoF tracking is really pretty impressive for consumer sort of hardware. So I think that's a pretty good basis for fitness at the moment.
Yeah, I think the comfort as well is also being able to track some metrics better. I mean, obviously you can have like a waistband or a watch or something to get your BPM and things, but having that somehow just within the same ecosystem and zone, I think would be really useful. And like you say, the comfort factor, wearing a headset is, I guess we as developers get used to it sort of thing, but yeah, it's a heavy piece of kit. And if you're moving around fast, then you've got to make sure it's secured well. Then you've got all the problems of sweat and keeping it clean and things. So I think that aspect of it, I think, would certainly help from a fitness perspective, and also I think just from a general comfort factor of being able to use VR. But I think the changes that Quest did from Oculus did from Quest to Quest 2, I think was great because it did make it that little bit much lighter, which is noticeable when you're exercising. So that for me, I think could be some interesting changes. And you say, I mean, getting rid of the controllers, I think that would again probably help, but also still trying to make sure there's at least some interface.
Getting rid of the controllers is really a very important thing. But then you have the problem that you don't have a feedback. So that's actually what you usually get. People complaining it's not so satisfying to hit something, even if it's just an orb or something, if it doesn't give you feedback. So I think there is a room for like that, this glove solution. And I think it would even be quite good if Facebook would have maybe they have something to vibrate your glove, but some gloves that simply improve the hand tracking. So that would.
Did you see the Facebook Connect? They were kind of teasing at that kind of bracelet tracking device, and that could be the direction that could work quite nicely. Yeah, that looks like that would be a pretty good solution
We were in their developer program right before they got bought by Facebook. So we had one of those units for a while.
Yeah.
The Control
Cool.
Labs band. It's super cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
that would give, because one of the problems when you don't have the controllers when it comes to a fitness app is not really being able, if you want to be able to track energy expenditure in any way, then the movement of your hands is kind of a fairly important part of like trying to do that. And with the hand tracking, the resolution, I mean, the reliability of the hand tracking is not going to be able to do a great job of giving you good feedback about people accelerating the movement of the hands.
Also, in terms of the UI with hand tracking, I find that when you select items in the UI, you don't get that feedback. And I imagine, I don't know, I've never tried the bands, but if you got some kind of vibration or some kind of something back to know that you clicked on something, it would just make the whole experience so much better.
Even just having that subtle buzz, reaching out and touching something, is enough haptics for the vast majority of use cases, I think.
I have to say, it's actually, I mean, and not really that the users are saying you should do this or that, but we actually try, because we all tried out all other games. It was like, oh, that feature is really cool, and I should have thought of that, or that's really nice to have. So from that point of view, they're really trying, as a developer, trying out a lot of other games in your genre is really, really a very good idea, because you see that we're doing similar things, but everyone has a slightly different angle and thinks about slightly different things. And yeah, that's really a great way to grow.
I think what I got out of some people actually posted videos of them playing my game, and actually, to your point around people that have never played it before, what are they getting? What are they not getting? What are the things that you need to kind of improve on for the first time that somebody plays something? I think is again really interesting feedback, and because if you've been using the game for so long, you kind of miss out on what that first experience looks like. So in mind, there was a guy who actually didn't understand that these circles that you're meant to put your head down so that you can kind of duck and weave and things like that, and so he put his hands through. And originally I was thinking, well, maybe I need to be a little bit more clear in terms of the instructions. But actually from that, it was like, well, maybe we can actually incorporate that kind of hand movement for these circles for people that can't duck, because we always get people of different kind of physical abilities. And so we want to try and make sure that at least, as many people as can participate in playing the game. So originally when I said, we want an option so that you don't need to duck or squat, it just stopped that type of movement. But actually watching this guy play our game, doing kind of this sort of movement with his hands, it was like, well, that's actually easier to do than a squat. So for people that can't do a squat, that's actually, maybe we change it so that that's an option. So I think the new user feedback, I think was very interesting, kind of getting people to actually play the game and then putting the time out to actually put a video out there of them actually playing the game, I think was good.
I would say the most, in my case, the most important feature is simply the music. I mean, I don't have good music, but I have the ability for people to add their own music. And as same as with Hitstream, you simply, if you have something that you move to the music, this is something that drives so much motivation. That's I mean, because people are, if most people who are doing exercise have their iPods, their AirPods in or whatever, or they're running with music, or simply there is this music is something that's driving so much emotion and energy that if you have some music that has something to do with what you're doing in the game, that's really a great motivation for people. So I think that's why Beat Saber works so well, because turn off the music in Beat Saber and probably nobody would play it, because they would simply be flailing around and hitting blocks. But there isn't. I mean, Beat Saber is great because of music. The same with Sim. I mean, Sims Riders probably has a bit more, since they have more general movements. It would probably work a bit better without music. But if you take away the music, it's the same. If you take away the music of the movie and play it on mute, then it's boring. So music is really the key to most of those. I mean, probably not so much real fit, because you are doing exercises, more traditional exercises. There the music is more like you need it for as a background, so you have something that's not so your room isn't silent. But for most games, the music is the key.